Robert Greene once said, "Many a serious thinker has been produced in prisons where we have nothing to do but think." Today, we delve into the mind of this thinker as we begin our journey through his book, 48 Laws of Power. A fascinating exploration of power dynamics, this book is the brainchild of Robert Greene, an author known for his acute understanding of human nature and its mechanisms. The essence of this book lies in its ability to provide insights into the subtle game of power that's played in every walk of life. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, an artist, or a student. Understanding these laws can give you an edge in your interactions, negotiations, and relationships. It equips you with the knowledge to navigate the treacherous waters of power dynamics with finesse and confidence. So fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare to unlock the first law of power. Have you ever pondered over the saying, "Never outshine the master"? Well, today we're going to delve into the depths of its meaning. This is derived from the insightful wisdom of the first law of power in Robert Greene's renowned book, The 48 Laws of Power. The law suggests that one should avoid ever outdoing their superior in a way that might stir up jealousy or resentment. Consider the historical example of King Louis XIV and his financial advisor, Nicolas Fouquet. Ambitiously, Fouquet planned and executed a grand party to captivate the king's favor, a party that surpassed all the king's previous events. However, his plan backfired. The king felt threatened rather than impressed, and Fouquet found himself behind bars. The moral of this story is straightforward. In the pursuit of power, making those above you feel threatened can cause substantial harm. It's not about dimming your brilliance, but more about knowing the right time to let others bask in spotlight. The strategy is to make your inputs appear vital, but ensure those in higher positions than you always feel superior. Never forget, you must always make those above you feel superior. Law 2 tells us, never put too much trust in friends. But why? You may wonder, it's a question of loyalty and self-interest. Friends with their emotional ties and history often feel entitled to our time, resources, and even our success. They may not be as motivated to pay back favors or to champion our cause, as they believe they have already given so much in terms of emotional support. Take for example a situation where you lend a significant amount of money to a friend. The expectation is that they will repay you as soon as they can. But when this doesn't happen, it can lead to disappointment, resentment, and a breakdown in the relationship. In contrast, your enemies are clear. They have their interest and you have yours. There's no emotional baggage, just a straightforward transaction. Relationships based on clear mutual interests are often more reliable. So remember, in the game of power, your enemies can be your best allies. Our third law of power is quite intriguing: conceal your intentions. This law is all about maintaining intrigue and mystery. Imagine you're playing a game of poker. If your opponents knew your hand, you'd lose your advantage, right? Similarly, in the game of power, revealing your intentions can leave you exposed and vulnerable. Let's paint a picture. Consider a chess player who keeps his strategies hidden, leaving his opponent guessing and making it harder for them to anticipate his moves. This gives him an upper hand and eventually, he emerges victorious. This is the essence of this law. It's not about deceit, but about being strategic and ensuring you're not giving away your game plan. Whether it's in business, politics, or personal relationships, the more you reveal, the more room you give others to use that information against you. So remember, keep your cards close to your chest, and your power will remain untouched. Law 4 advises us to always say less than necessary. Let's find out why. There is an innate power in words, but also an inherent danger. When we speak more than necessary, we reveal not only our thoughts but also our intentions, weaknesses, and strategies. It's often the case that the more we say, the more ammunition we provide for others to use against us. Let's take a hypothetical situation. Imagine you're in a negotiation, and you reveal all your cards up front. You've just handed over the control to your opponent, who now knows exactly how to manipulate the situation to their advantage. On the other hand, keeping your cards close to your chest creates an air of mystery. It compels others to try and decipher your thoughts, keeping them engaged and, more importantly, keeping you in control. In summary, this law teaches us that restraint in speech is a powerful tool. Remember, power resides in the realm of action, not words. The fifth law of power tells us, so much depends on reputation. Reputation is the cornerstone of power. It is the reflection of your character in the mirror of public opinion. With a strong reputation, you can influence, control, and maneuver your way through the labyrinth of social interactions. Consider the tale of a renowned artist. His reputation for creating masterpieces precedes him. Each stroke of his brush carries the weight of his name, and this reputation opens doors, attracts patrons, and commands respect. However, a reputation is a delicate thing, as fragile as a house of cards. One misstep, one false rumor can bring it all crashing down, so guard it fiercely. Be mindful of your actions, your words, and even your thoughts, for they all contribute to the image you project into the world. To sum it up, a good reputation is a powerful tool, but it requires constant vigilance to maintain. Remember the fifth law: guard your reputation with your life. Law 6 boldly asserts, court attention at all costs. This law emphasizes the importance of visibility and recognition. In a world overflowing with information and ideas, fading into the background is the quickest route to insignificance. Instead, you must strive to stand out, to be noticed, to be remembered. Let's illustrate this with a practical example. Imagine a talented artist who creates breathtaking pieces of art, but keeps them tucked away in a secluded studio. Despite his talent, he remains unknown, his art unappreciated. Now consider another artist, perhaps less skilled, but who showcases his work at every opportunity, who networks, who makes himself seen and heard. He becomes known, talked about, his art seen and appreciated. Even if his work is not the best, he has the attention, and that's what counts. This law reminds us that in the game of power, it's not enough to be skilled or talented. You must also be seen and remembered. In the game of power, obscurity is your enemy. Our seventh law of power is quite crafty. Let others do the work, but always take the credit. This law is about strategic positioning. It's about letting others labor and toil, while you step in at the right moment to claim the credit. A clever example of this is the story of Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. Edison, a master of this law, allowed Tesla to do much of the hard work on projects, and then swooped in to claim the inventions as his own. The key points to understand from this law are timing, tact, and opportunity. It's not about deception, but rather about knowing when to step forward and when to step back. It's about understanding that power often comes from being recognized for achievements, even if you weren't the one sweating over every single detail. Remember, power is not only about doing, but also about being recognized for what's done. Law 8 is all about control. Make other people come to you. This law is a game changer. It's about having the upper hand and letting others play by your rules. Imagine being a magnet, drawing others towards you. It's not about being manipulative, but about harnessing your power and influence to create a dynamic where others seek your input, advice, or assistance. For instance, consider a successful entrepreneur. They don't chase clients. Clients come to them. They've established a brand so strong that people seek their services. It's about creating value and demand. The key takeaway here is about controlling the dynamics. When you make others come to you, you're in control of the situation. You can set the pace, the agenda, and most importantly, you can negotiate from a position of strength. Remember, power is not about dominating others. It's about strategic positioning and influence. In the game of power, the ball should always be in your court. Our ninth law of power is pragmatic. Win through actions, not arguments. This law underscores the importance of demonstrating your position rather than just verbalizing it. Let's think about a chess game. A player can argue about his strategy for hours, but it's only when he moves his pieces that the true merit of his plan is revealed. This law advises us to avoid getting tangled in wordy debates. Instead, we should let our actions articulate our worth. Actions are concrete, tangible, and irrefutable. They cut through the noise of empty promises and hollow arguments. For instance, consider an artist. She doesn't need to argue about the quality of her work, she simply creates, allowing her art to make the statement for her. In summary, this law reminds us to be doers, not just talkers. Through our actions, we can establish credibility, demonstrate capability, and command respect. Remember, actions speak louder than words. Our final law for today, Law 10, warns us to avoid the unhappy and unlucky. It might sound harsh, but let's delve into the rationale behind it. This law is not about shunning those who are going through a rough patch. Instead, it's about steering clear of those who seem perpetually stuck in a cycle of misfortune, those who can't seem to shake off their perpetual cloud of negativity. Take, for example, that friend who always seems to be in the middle of some drama. The more you engage, the more you find yourself drawn into their whirlwind of troubles. Now, imagine if you had distanced yourself. You'd have saved so much energy. Energy that could have been used to fortify your own position, In essence, this law advises us to conserve our energy by avoiding those who drain it. It's a reminder that our power is precious and should be protected. Stay clear of the carriers of misfortune and you'll maintain your power. So, we've taken our first steps into the world of power. We've explored 10 laws from the influential book, The 48 Laws of Power. Each law unveiling a unique facet of how power works in our lives. From the first law, never outshine the master, we learned the importance of subtlety, of knowing our place in the power hierarchy. We then delved into the complexities of trust and friendship, the art of concealing our intentions, and the power of silence. We discovered that our reputation is our most valuable asset, and that commanding attention can tip the scales in our favor. We learned the clever strategy of letting others do the work, while we take the credit, the power of attraction, and the significance of action over words. Finally, we understood the need to avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Each of these laws offers a lens through which we can view and navigate our interactions. Join us tomorrow as we continue this journey through the remaining laws of power. Don't forget to subscribe for part 2 of this series.